What's up, millennials? AgEagle with ticker symbol UAVS went up more than 40% in one day on Wednesday. The question is, why? In this video, I'm going to give you 4 potential reasons for which I think that could have happened. Let's get started. Reason number 1 could be the blacklisting of a Chinese drone company called DJI. This is a massive drone company, it's super huge. And the thing is, we're seeing a lot of blacklisting of Chinese companies lately, right? We're seeing a lot of companies, Chinese stocks, that are being taken off the Nasdaq, for example. So far, we've mainly seen that with a few medium-sized companies, if you will. But there have also been talks about companies like Tencent and Alibaba even that could be taken off the Nasdaq as well. So the thing is that DJI could also be blacklisted as well. The thing is, this is all happening under the Trump administration still, right? So the question is, what is going to happen under a Biden administration? As we can see here in this article on The Verge, the Department of Commerce is putting DJI on its entity list. And they say, well, that basically limits how that company can work with US companies. They do that, the Trump administration does that, to crack down on Chinese tech giants, massive companies from China. Now, in this article, they're saying, well, if you completely ban DJI drones, that would be a catastrophic blow to the industry. But they also say, well, early indications suggest that that is just not going to happen, right? If we then scroll down to the bottom, they also say, well, the thing is, the reality is that DJI has a massive market share of about 75%. That's crazy. That's crazy. If they're completely going to leave the American market rather, that is going to leave a massive hole to be filled. That sounds very weird, but you know what I mean. And they say, well, they don't know exactly if there's any company that would be able to fill that hole. The thing is, okay, we're talking about all kinds of drones over here, right? DJI makes all kinds of drones, not just package delivery drones. And they also make drones for commercial use, just for people like you and me, right? That can just play with those drones. The thing is, however, if the likelihood that DJI is going to be a massive player in the American package delivery market, if that percentage if that probability is going to go down, then the probability of a company like AgEagle is going to go up a lot, right? So AgEagle could be a company that is going to fill up that massive hole that's potentially being left in the American market. What do you think? So I think that is one of the reasons why AgEagle has gone up so much lately and why I'm still bullish on AgEagle as well. Reason number 2 is a new rule from the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration. It has a pretty funny name. As you can see over here, it's called the Operations Over People and at Night rule. Super simple. The thing is, usually they have these super difficult names, but this is just super simple. Operations over people and at night. And that's exactly what it is. So this article says that the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, announced on Monday, and this is Monday the 28th of December, so last week Monday, that is going to issue a long-awaited rule to allow for small drones to fly over people and at night. I actually hadn't thought about that. Flying drones during the night. That could be actually pretty good to start with, right? Have package delivery at night. Because at night you don't have a lot of people walking around. At night, I think the risk of damaging like people and cars and vehicles and whatever is lower as well. And I also think that the risk of people stealing drones is lower as well. Because actually I thought about that, and I think that is going to be a potential risk. I suppose the drone has cameras all around, but I do think that there will be people out there trying to steal these drones. But yeah, we'll see what that is going to happen, if that is going to happen in the future as well. Okay, so if we look at this rule, it basically says, well, these drones, small drones, need anti-collision lights. Well, okay, that's pretty obvious, especially at night. That can be seen up to 3 miles away. That's quite a long distance. I had to calculate that for a second, but that's like 5 kilometers. That's a massive mile. And no exposed rotating parts that could potentially lacerate human skin, right? Which also is quite obvious to me. According to me, this is very good to see regulation, right? Because it means that the Federal Aviation Administration sees package delivery via drones as something legit as well, right? So I think that this is very bullish for not only the package delivery market via drones, but also for AgEagle, of course. Reason number 3 is a recent direct offering. As we can see over here, they offered 1 million shares for gross proceeds of $6.4 million, more or less. So that means like about $6 per share, of course. If we look at Yahoo Finance, we can see that they currently have about 58 million shares outstanding. So basically, if you, go back to this, then you can see that 1 million shares out of 58 million is not that much, right? It's just less than 2% share dilution. So that's not a lot. Also, if we go to their last financial results from the earnings call in, I believe, October, something like that, they said that as of September 30th of 2020, the company's balance sheet reflected cash of $24.7 million, and they didn't have any long-term debt. So, it looks like they need the money for something, right? I've listened back to the earnings call, the last earnings call, and they said multiple things. They said, first of all, okay, we're going to need to hire more people because we need to ramp up manufacturing. Makes sense. We need more money for R&D, for research and development, to stay ahead of the competition, or at least to try to beat the competition, right? And we also need money to make other acquisitions. They've already done several acquisitions in the past, but my question is, could they buy Valqari? Valqari is a company that we're going to look at in the last reason for this video. It's a very interesting company, and I think a very important company as well, because it has to do with the infrastructure of package delivery via drones. AgEagle already has an equity stake in Valqari. I believe it's just not a very big percentage, but I'm not entirely sure how large a percentage is, but they do have an equity stake in Valqari. But the question is, could they buy the entire company? That could be massive for AgEagle, in my opinion. I'm not entirely sure how much Valqari is worth exactly, but it could be something interesting to try to figure out. And I'm really looking forward to the next earning call of AgEagle to see if they're going to tell us a little bit more about what they are going to spend that about $30 million on exactly. So I believe that the company having quite a lot of money on their balance sheet without any long-term debt, is also quite bullish for AgEagle. And then the last reason number 4, is Valqari. I've already talked about it a little bit in reason number 3, but Valqari did a quick demonstration of their product, of their mailbox, smart box actually, with Fox Business. The video is on this website, so I'm going to put the link to all these videos, all these websites that I've been showing you in the description below this video. The thing is, Valqari has this mailbox. Let's pull it up. This is a mailbox they have. It's quite interesting because I think this is a very important part of the infrastructure of package delivery via drones. How does this work? Well, if you want to send a package, you go to one of these mailboxes that could be in your area, in your street or whatever. You put them in one of these boxes, one of these slots. Then this mailbox is going to bring your package up to this platform over here on the top. A drone is then going to take your package automatically and is going to bring your package to the correct destination. And then at that destination, they also have a mailbox like this. So the drone lands on top of the platform again, releases the package. The package is being delivered to one of those slots, right? The right slot that is your destination, of course. And then the other person has your package. So I think these mailboxes are going to be very important in the future for package delivery via drones. And the good thing is that AgEagle has an exclusive contract of 2 years with Valqari. As I've said in reason number 3, they also have an equity stake in Valqari, so that's also very important. But in the video, it's a very short video, just like 3 minutes or something like that. It's like a demonstration video in which the CEO, Ryan Walsh of Valqari, shows how the mailbox works, right? And he says multiple things. He says, well, there are new markets opening up. He says it's going to start significantly over the next 18 months. Quite interesting that he says 18 months because it's more or less exactly how long the current contract with AgEagle is going to last. And he says, well, once we start getting real traction over the next few years, it's going to be everywhere in the country. So that mailbox is going to be everywhere in the country. And he also says that the smart boxes, their mailboxes, are going to scan drones through security checks to ensure FAA clearance, so clearance by the Federal Aviation Administration. I think that's very important as well. He also says another few things like the drones are going to fly at like 200 to 400 feet, so you're not going to hear them. And I think that's also a massive concern for some people, that you might actually hear those drones, like during the night, for example. If you're sleeping, you don't want to hear these drones. So he says, well, don't worry about that because the drones are going to be flying quite high. And you're probably not, you're not going to hear them, right? So that's pretty good. I think all of this is pretty good because Valqari is now becoming more known to the people. And people are starting to realize that Valqari has an exclusive contract with AgEagle, right? And also that AgEagle has an equity stake in Valqari. So that, according to me, is reason number 4 why I think AgEagle has gone up and why I'm still bullish on the drone delivery market. So there you go, 4 reasons why I think that AgEagle has gone up a lot in the last couple of days and weeks. Now I'd love to know your opinion as well. Are you also bullish on AgEagle? Or do you think that there's another major drone company that could actually become the leader in package delivery via drones? Let me know in the comments. Alright, with that being said, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.